Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. So it's been a while since we last did a climbing video, and today we're back with one at B+, otherwise known as Boulder Plus. So they are located in Aperia Mall, somewhere along Kallang and Lavender. And I think for some context, Dan and myself, we were previously climbing at BFF gym and we were on the season pass there. So we actually climbed there for a good, I think 6 to 7 months before we did a switch over to B+. And I think since then we've been climbing at B+ for I think around 1.5 months, and we're actually on a multi-pass, so 10 passes for $180. And I think Dan's just gonna bring you guys briefly through the differences we feel, climbing at BFF and compared to like at B+. Yeah.
At BFF, where we used to climb, I think the style is predominantly more static, more old school kind of comp style. So the routes are quite balancy compared to where B+, where is usually the boulders feature big throws, dynos, a bit of traversing. So this can be largely attributed to like the wall angles, the wall faces that the two different gyms have. So BFF's walls are not as deep overhung, whereas compared to B+, we have deep overhangs, you have arches. So the style of B+ requires a lot more strength in terms of climbing and maintaining your body tension on the overhangs compared to BFF, where it's very balancy and very crimpy.
And I think we also get to see the differences a little bit more and explain them along the way as we look at some of the routes that we did. So without further ado, let us jump into the first route. Okay, so for our first project, it was located on the arch. It was a red boulder with a blue tag. So the grading system at B+ is white, followed by yellow, red, and blue. So this was me attempting a blue tag. And I think for some context, I'm still trying to project some blue tag routes. And then for Dan and Dasha's themselves, I think Dan is doing purples, Dasha's doing purples as well. So this one was a blue tag. And I think mainly for me, the one move that I really couldn't get over was this reach for this right hand hold on the arch. I found it really frustrating, to be really honest, because I feel like I'm not that short, right? And I'm like quite tall, and I feel like it should be quite easy for me to reach out and just grab onto it. And I saw a lot of climbers who wasn't as tall as I was. They could quite easily just grab onto the right hand hold, and then you'll see them doing it with much ease lah, actually. So I think after looking at my clips, and I tried this for like I think 3 sessions. So after looking at my clips, I listened to my friends. They were telling me that just go for the heel hook on the right heel hook. So I think you'll see it in a while. So go for the right heel hook, and then I had to smear my left leg quite high up, which was quite unusual, I felt, because unusual for me personally, because I feel like it's very odd, like trying to step on the wall. And I don't know whether it's just me, like I just had something like against stepping on walls or something. Like it's like I don't know what I can step on. So in this clip, you can actually see that my left leg is not really smearing as high as I should have. My legs should have been probably around the yellow and the white boulder. So that really made it very hard for me to reach out for the right hand hold. And I think after the 3rd session, I still couldn't get it. Yeah, that was it. So I didn't manage to send this project, sadly. I thought it could be my first blue, but
nope.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, do you have anything to add? No? Alright, yeah, so that was it for the first project. Okay, so for the next route, we are looking at another route on the arch. This one was mainly attempted by Dan and Dasha's. So this was a yellow boulder with a blue tag. Dan, you want to bring us through this route?
Yes, so it's quite a standard, like this is like one of the typical Boulder Plus routes that you'll find in the gym. So I think this encapsulates like pretty much the style of the gym. So very overhung, the holes are nice and big, so you got a lot to work with. And yeah, so it's all about like learning how to climb first on the overhang, the roof and the overhang, and then after that transitioning between faces. So from a roof to an overhang to a slab. I think I didn't get this on the first try. We didn't get my first few attempts, so I tried to go with the left hand, and I didn't realize that like reading it from the ground, the left hand looks a lot better than the right hand, but it's actually quite a bit further, if you can see. And Dasha was telling me like maybe you should go for the right hand first instead, even though it doesn't look as good, it is a lot closer. So yeah, that's why I tried later on. And yeah, as in, so not all the time when you read the route from the ground and you see the type of holes, as in when you're on the wall and you see as in the situation will change. So it's good to be able to adapt. As in, like when you're in that position and you see there's no way I'm going to get the left hand, it's way too far. So maybe you can try and readjust and go for the right hand instead.
Yeah, I didn't give it a shot because I kind of thought like it's very out of my capabilities. Yeah, so I think that's it for this project. So for the next one, it's a purple boulder with a blue tag. So this was mainly, I think, Dan's project.
Yeah, so it's, even though it's on the arch, like there are phases on the arch where it's quite slabby, and this is one of them. So it starts off quite okay, the first move, but the second move on the downward pointing hold, that one is a very specific place that you need to catch, and it's a very small crimp that you need to pinch on. So I took quite a few attempts to get there, and yeah, you can see me failing a few times before I finally stick the move. And yeah, the next part of the boulder is not that difficult, but it can get tricky, it can get a little bit bunched up. So you need to be able to watch where your body is trying to move towards and not pop off the wall. Yeah, so this shouldery move into a step. So
you popped off.
yeah, is at the last few moves make you quite bunched up. So you need to be able to make sure that you are applying enough pressure on your feet to maintain your body tension. And yeah, it's just quite an interesting slap.
This was a slap.
Yeah.
It was a slap. So actually I gave it a shot also, right? But I stepped on the first foothold, right? Then I'm like, when you said the first move is quite okay, I stepped on the first foothold, I'm like, I just slipped off instantly. I just knew, I'm like, okay, I cannot do this. Yeah. So I think Dasha's gave it a few good tries as well.
Yeah, he tried a different beta where you go with the right hand all the way up to the small crimp first, which I saw quite a few people doing with varying degrees of success. So it might be an easier way, I guess, especially if you are slightly taller. Yeah, for me, I read the route. I think this is how it was intended when it was set, how the route setter intended it to be climbed. So I tried that way first. I wanted to give it a proper shot before I actually transitioned to try another beta. Yeah, so that was my...
So many heel hooks.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think one thing about Dan, right, is he liked heel hooks a lot. Do you like toe hooks as much?
I like toe hooks.
He liked toe hooks? Okay.
Than heel hooks.
But he liked the hooks a lot. So he always tell me, hook, hook, hook. And then he always tell me to go for the toe hook. But I'm like, no, I cannot. There's no way I can generate the tension. I just cannot.
Yeah, so sometimes like the toe hooks and heel hooks, I like it because it keeps me very secure onto the wall. But there are times where like you're climbing on the overhangs, I think we'll see a different problem later, where this security can cause you to fly off the wall as well. So this is the boulder that I was talking about. It starts off with quite bad holds, but not that bad that you can't hold on to it. And I try going for a left heel hook here so that my left hand can go up. But the problem with the left heel hook is that even though I can get the left hand quite firmly, once I release the heel hook, my body will counteract the swing, and the force will pull me off the wall. So the left hand hold is not that good enough to hold on for the entire swing. Yeah, so I was trying to figure out why I couldn't hold on when I saw like Dasha's was it wasn't, as in he wasn't really struggling to get the left hand up. Yeah, but the next move you have to catch it with your legs onto the two hand holds here. So and I kept trying with this heel hook because it just felt so secure to get to the left hand. Yeah, but the moment I released it, the body comes flying out, and you know that, well, your left hand cannot hold on already.
GG.
Yeah.
How was the left hand hold actually?
It's like this. So like there's no like real in cut for you. It's not really a jump. So it's just more like a kind of a sloper.
Alright.
Yeah, not really a sloper. I'm not sure how I'll characterize it.
A flat surface.
Yeah, it's just flat at the top.
surface.
So yeah, you're supposed to like left leg step and right leg toe hook, and then you match your hands and move on from there. So the rest of the boulder is actually quite standard, I feel, except for the last move, which you'll see Dasha's. Yeah, it looks really nice on the ground. It looks like a nice pinch on the ground.
Oh, it does.
Yeah, but it's
Surprise.
a surprise sloper. So
Surprise!
yeah, so Dasha's was totally not prepared for this. And he was
it actually looks very good at the boulder.
yeah, it really looks very good from below. Yeah, so you cannot just go out and then just hope that you'll stick it. You have to like, plan ahead and match your feet after you get it. Yeah, and conserve some strength for it.
I feel like that's also one of the ways that B Plus kind of changes up their boulders. So there was another route that I was doing. They had this surprise sloper towards the end also. So like it's not just they're focused on helping you build strength with the overhangs and all that. So even on the overhangs, right, different parts of the route really test you on different things. So I think that's what makes their routes there very interesting as well lah.
I like the fact that like the black text. So like these black text means is kind of a bonus. I think they don't want to give it a grade. I'm not sure, but like I think in some other gyms where you see like question marks, you don't even bother attempting because it's just like way too difficult, way out of your skill.
Yeah.
But down here, like the black text, actually a lot of them are like actually worth doing. Sometimes you see at my feet there's a black boulder also, which is a black tag, forces you to start with a figure 4 move. So it's quite interesting. Typically, I will characterize the black boulders as like having like one very cool or interesting move. So like if you can get it, you can probably get the boulder, and if you can't, then you can't. But it's always worth a shot. Like it's worth to try out different moves. Like this one has a flying toe hook catch with a left leg step.
Flying toe hook catch.
Yeah, so that's quite fun.
Okay, now we're gonna move on to the next boulder. This route is not on the arch anymore. So this is actually on the left hand side of the wall. The first wall that you see in the gym when you first enter. So this was a blue boulder with a blue tag. And this boulder, I think what made this boulder very interesting, there were like a few aspects to it. First, it was the first move. There was this dynamic, like this dyno that you really need to stick your right hand on. So after that, there were a lot of high heel hooks as well. And then there was this part where you had to match your hand and campus up the wall. So I think Dan is showing us a very positive example.
Yeah, right here, like you have to smear both feet on the wall. You cannot. I guess it could stand on something, but it will make it a lot more difficult. I think this is the easier way. And then after that, go for the heel hook and finish off. So it's a bit scary because it's a little bit high and like your heels, your whole.
If your heel pop off, right?
Your heel is pretty high, so if you fall, but the boulder itself is, I would say it's not that hard, but it takes quite a bit of courage to do. Like, you probably could do it. It's not on the harder side of the blue text, but it's just a little bit scary because you're a bit high.
And it's quite strength based also.
Yeah.
I feel the dyno part.
Dasha's is the biggest hole.
I think this route was mainly my project because for both Dan and Dasha's, it was quite an easy route for them. So for me, I think the first two sessions, I managed to stick the first move, which I was like, okay, quite impressed with myself because I'm like quite scared of doing such big moves in general. And this is one thing that B Plus has really pushed me to really try. So every time I get to stick a dyno move, I feel like very, satisfied, I guess. But sadly for me, for this route, I got to where Dasha's is at this point with both his hands matching on the blue boulder, right? And then I kind of didn't have the strength to campus up again, to hold on to the biggest hole of the route. And also the part where you need to just step on the wall. And I don't know how people climb with so much faith that they just step on the wall and then their feet won't slip. But I always have this innate fear that I'm gonna slip and then fall off or something lah. So for Dasha's, he did manage to send this route in the end. On his third try, And I think for me, I didn't send it even after 3 sessions. So it was quite sad lah. Towards the end, I felt like this was one of those boulders that had potential for me to send. And I didn't. And then as of now, they've done a full gym reset, so it's gone forever.
Nice.
So this was actually my best attempt, and this was the furthest that I managed to get. And I was honestly very surprised by myself because I think both Dan and Dasha's probably didn't expect me to even get to this move lah. In general, I feel like I give out the very very nua climber kind of feeling. So to even get to that point, it was, I guess, not a bad achievement lah. But towards the third session, I just couldn't even stick the first move, the dyno move, and I just got really frustrated. So that was it for this boulder. So for the next one, it was also on the same wall, the left side. So you can actually see the mall from outside here lah. So Dan and Dasha's, they were mainly the ones who were trying this route. Okay, so Dan can bring us through this route.
Yeah, so like the first move is pretty much the whole boulder, as in it's the only hard move. It's a coordination dyno, so you're supposed to swing, 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 and then after that, match your feet and go for the right hand to the pinch. So like I got the feet okay after like a few tries, but I just couldn't seem to get like far enough so that I can hold on to the next hole properly.
The pinch.
Yeah. So yeah, you can see me failing here a few times. I think Dasha's also couldn't really get the momentum that he needed, that we both needed. Until like I was resting and then I heard like the couple was sitting over there behind. Yeah, he was telling the girl that as she goes for it, she needs to pull. So if you see this attempt, I actually pull in as I try to swing for it.
We'll try to replay in slow-mo.
So that like gives you the additional momentum that you need to lift off and to get the next hole. Yeah. So the rest of the boulder is like relatively straightforward. It's not anything unusual. Yeah. So it's pretty much just a one move boulder in my opinion. But yeah, it does show like some principles of the dyno, like how to dyno properly, how to do coordination moves properly. And in the end, it should be something that feels smooth. It shouldn't be something that's like you need to rush through it or you need to power through it. We'll show the next boulder is a red tag, yellow red tag. Okay, explain a little bit more of like what my thinking process is behind dynos. So this next boulder is a yellow with a red tag. The second move is a big dyno with two hands up to the next two holds. And yeah, I think it's a good demonstration of like what I was talking about previously on how the dyno movement should work. So I saw this video on YouTube which kind of explains it, and I'll try to briefly summarize it for you. So essentially how you should go through the dyno is, first of all, the first move is pulling in with your hands before you use your legs and push yourself upwards. So it should make a parabolic motion towards the wall, with your hands pulling in at the first part and your legs pushing off at the second part. And what I found helps me quite a bit is not trying to do these two motions at the same time, but rather trying to consciously think about it as two different kind of movements and going through it in my head before I get onto the wall. When I'm trying to do a dyno move, I always firstly remind myself, use your hands and pull, and then use your legs and push. Your brain works a lot faster than your body can move, so you don't need to be like super kamcheong and like try to do it all at once, but rather it should always feel like a smooth motion when you're sticking a dyno. Your brain shouldn't be panicking through the motion, but rather your brain should be slowly thinking step by step how I can get up this. So not all dynos are of course created the same. Some of them have terrible footholds, some of them have terrible handholds, but the principle still remains the same. Always try to go with your hands first, pulling yourself towards the wall, and then after that using your feet to push off and go upwards.
Yeah, I think just to build on to that, that's something that Dan keeps telling me also. And I'm not saying like I've done it already, because that's something I'm still trying really, really hard to do. And I didn't even stick it for the yellow boulder with the red tag. Yeah, and I think sometimes it's very hard because there's so many things going on all together at the same time. But when I actually make a conscious effort to, just slow down, like remember to pull in before I go up, usually I have better results than say like I just keep trying to put in the attempts and just keep going without really actually knowing what I'm doing. And I think it's also an issue, I guess, trying to use your legs, because I think in climbing we are very focused on using our upper body. So sometimes I forget I have legs, and then like I just end up pushing myself off the wall, and then you can see my butt just like, literally it's like me just pushing myself off the wall when I'm supposed to go upwards, but I'm like going outwards. So yeah, I feel like a lot of beginner climbers probably can relate. Actually, yeah, that's it lah for dynos. And then here's the next route. This was a blue boulder with a blue tag. Okay, Dan can bring us through this route.
Yeah, so how it works at Boulder Plus, they specify which hands need to start on which holds. So they are able to force you to start like this where you face outside. Yeah, so it's quite interesting, and like the first part is like really just fighting your way through to turn around so you can actually like get a sense of what you're doing. Yeah, and it takes a bit of shoulder strength, so if you have a loose shoulder like these kind of boulders might have a problem for you. The holds above, I thought like this was going to be another like one move boulder where like after you get the start it'll be quite okay. But it's actually nearing the top. These last 3 holes are relatively slopey. So I thought I thought the last one was a jug as well. So I thought I was just like jump
Power
up to
through.
it and just stick it. Without really thinking about where my feet should go. And like there's obviously a foothold on the left which I didn't use. So I think after seeing some other people do it, I was like, okay, I guess I should have done that. I should have done that before. So like my second attempt went a lot better. The starting is pretty much the same, and like this is one of the things which I think is quite uniquely Boulder Plus, that the routes are quite unique. They sometimes offer like quite interesting varieties, quite interesting starts, and it does train you to kind of think a little bit. And like not every boulder is also like just one interesting move and that's it. They still do challenge you through the route for most of the boulders as well. So it's actually really good training. Coming from BFF, I think we have a very good foundation in like slabs, in very technical kind of crimpy boulders where it's very balancy. So I constantly felt like what I was lacking is like overhangs. So like when we go and climb at like Climb Central or like other gyms, I always try to do the overhangs, and I always find out that like on the overhang walls I have to kind of downgrade 1 or 2 grades because I'm just not used to holding on to big holes. As in like the holes are like can be super nice, but I'm just like not really sure how to position my body and use my strengths. So I think it is good that we are trying out different gyms, we're trying out different styles, and it does help to build yourself to be a more all-rounded type of climber. One thing I think both gyms do super well is really like their care for the climbers as well as the safety. So both at BFF with Vincent and Isaac, and as well as at B Plus with CY and Wing and
A few other bosses maybe, but we're not very sure.
I'm not sure who the bosses are.
Sorry.
But like you can tell like all of these guys are climbers, and I believe they're all friends as well. I think they
should be.
I guess they're all friends.
Yeah, they should be.
So they as climbers themselves, they understand our
what
needs,
climbers are looking for.
How to build safe routes, what we're really looking for, how to improve our training and our experience there. And I do appreciate it. Like from both sides, we've received like so much help, so much advice from all of them.
So to clarify, right, we filmed all of this when the gyms were open, and now that all the gyms are closed, they are not open as well. Okay, they are like, all this was filmed way before that, so we are not climbing illegally. We're climbing with our mask on, and we're adhering to safe distancing measures. So I think, is that about it?
I think that's about it.
So I think that's about it for our B Plus video, and we hope you enjoyed it, and we hope you learned something new from beginner amateur climbers like us. Or if you feel like there's anything we can improve on in terms of video or climbing, just let us know as well. Just drop a comment in the comment section below, and that's about it. Alright, bye bye.